Hello, everyone. It's Chris over at Springs Law Group coming to you today to talk about 10 ways to help prevent slip and fall accidents and injuries during these winter months. I know here in Colorado, I think we're fast approaching a winter storm coming where I know we're going to get some snowfall tonight. So I wanted to give you guys some tips on how to prevent those slip and fall accidents, which can really, really cause some pretty severe injuries to your ankles, legs, hips, things like that. So we'll walk through these one at a time. So the first tip that I have is be careful getting in and out of your vehicle. So whatever you drive, wherever you're parked at, so you're going to be driving to a new spot, you want to be careful getting in and out. I know I was at the gym the other day. Whenever I got out, there was ice that was just right outside of my vehicle. So if I would have just gotten out like I normally would have, it could have led to something pretty severe. But instead, what I decided to do is I took it nice and slow. Tip number 2 is avoid carrying items where you cannot see in front of you. So this is important as you're walking around. You want to make sure that you don't, have that, your groceries or what have you, where you can't actually see what's up and what's coming up in front of you. So you want to make sure that you have a good line of sight right there. Next one is going to be walk slowly and take small steps. It makes me think of the movie What About Bob? And you want to take those baby steps during that time. So if you're in a spot where it is icy or where you think it's going to be slick or where there could be ice under snow, things like that, make sure you take those small steps at that point. Next one is going to be to wear proper footwear as tip number 4. You want to make sure too that you have slip resistant shoes, that you've got proper winter shoes, shoes that aren't going to, that have some good traction and tread to them. Tip number 5 is going to be look ahead for trip hazards. What I mean by that is during the winter, it's, rock and things like that can be picked up on the road or picked up, kind of where you're walking. You can end up with clumps of snow and dirt and things like that. So you want to make sure that you are scanning ahead of you, trying to watch out what's in front of you and not just, kind of looking off to, out into the world. In that sense, so you're constantly scanning to see, would I actually trip over something? Also, too, that snow and ice can also create, even on like a sidewalk, some uneven surfaces. So you want to make sure then, too, the sidewalk during the summer that might be nice and flat, during those winter months might have some, created trip hazards from that bad weather. Tip number 6 is going to be watch out for black ice when you're walking. You want to make sure then too that you're kind of using your feet to pat down just a little bit to see if it is going to be slick there before you start walking forward, so that you're really making sure that you're watching out in that sense. Tip number 7 is use your vehicle as support when entering and exiting. So this one's important too, that if it is slick around your car where you happen to have parked, you want to use that, the vehicle, the doors, the hood and the trunk as support as you're walking around to keep yourself balanced. Tip number 8, you want to give yourself plenty of time to get from place to place. So during these winter months, you want to make sure then too that you're not in a rush or a hurry. So if you slow down a little bit, then at that point, you're going to give yourself time and you're not going to be in a rush where you could end up falling down, making a mistake, rushing into your car and slipping, things like that. And so you want to make sure that you're definitely giving yourself an extra 5 to 10 minutes to get from place to place. Tip number 9, when entering a building, make sure that you not wipe your feet. Make sure that you wipe your feet. That's a typo on my part. Make sure that you wipe your feet off, because it's important then too, if you have wet feet and wet shoes, that you could slip on that dry surface inside of the building that you're at. So make sure too that you wipe your feet off whenever you go in somewhere. And tip number 10, remember that ice and snow means take it slow. So you want to go nice and slow if there's ice and snow. This goes for both driving and for walking, but obviously with this being a slip and fall, you want to make sure too that you're just walking nice and slow. All of those can kind of work in conjunction with each other, so take it nice and slow, give yourself plenty of time to move forward, don't rush it, make sure that you're scanning. So it's all working in conjunction together. But these are just, so we've got winter still, we're still in February, we want to make sure then too that we're, out there, kind of trying to take care of ourselves and plan accordingly. So everybody be safe out there as the snow is coming out here in Colorado, and hope everybody out there has a good day. We will talk to y'all later. Bye now.